First of all, I would like to welcome all of you here to our Chapter Development Committee webinar series. And for today, we will talk about how to be IEEE or EMBS Senior Member, which is really important because it will help you winder the opportunity within IEEE, even if you are a volunteers or even if you are just IEEE members. You will get a lot of benefit by being a senior member. And our speaker today, I would like to introduce you all here to know Dr. Supawadi Aramwit from IEEE Thailand section, and she is also one of the Chapter Development Committee member from Asia Pacific region. And of course, today's webinar cannot be organized and established without our chapter development chair, Dr. Lee Yut Kwon. So the stage is yours. Please give us the introduction to today's webinar, and then we can start. Thank you.
May I share the screen, please, Tanita?
Yes,
Yeah?
sure, of course. Yes.
Right. A very good day. Welcome and thank you for joining us at this last webinar organized by the Chapter Development Committee in 2022. I'm Yut Kwon, assisting Professor Caroline, the EMB Vice President for Member and Student Activities, to host events to support our mission statements, which are: 1, to inspire, support, and make vibrant chapters; 2, to share best practices, governance, and connections amongst chapters; and 3, to expand EMB footprints in every IEEE sections. Let me just change the pointer. And assisting me is a team consisting of 16 regional representatives and 6 core members, so as to provide an efficient needs supply eco chain, linking EMB grassroots to EMB ECCON and EXCON. First and foremost, I'm happy to announce that the chapter development webpage will be making its debut soon on EMBS.org to provide convenience for the potential, current, and new EMB volunteers. We have pulled together resources such as Constitution and Bylaw, volunteers' responsibilities and functions, application forms, chapter development webinars on growing chapters, chapter development events for attention of chapters, which they can claim ownership, networking, EMB YouTubes and links useful to membership drive, FAQ from queries contributed by the volunteers. We hope with this accessibility, anyone, anytime, anywhere, it would make chapters easier and happier to become vibrant. And as 2022 is drawing to a close, I would also like to take this opportunity to convey our gratitude to each and everyone who has contributed to our activities. Confucius once said, "I was complaining that I had no shoes till I met a man who had no feet." Gratitude, the very reason we celebrate EMBS Day since 2021, is to commemorate our forefathers in EMB and the very first meeting of the IRE Professional Group on Medical Electronics in 1952. From a participation of less than 1%, while many are eligible, lack of diversity in winning chapters, and also the underprovided nomination form. We decided to conduct this webinar on EMBS Chapter Award to gear up chapters in submitting their nomination forms. And this webinar is seeded from the concern of John Marie, a member of the Chapter Development Committee, who have, for the new volunteers, having experienced the hardship to kickstart and also run a chapter himself before. His leadership concocted this webinar that can serve as a basic guide to manage a chapter, new or old. At the same webinar, two initiatives proposed by the Chapter Development Committee in February have just been approved, and I took the opportunity to invite application for them. First is the Member Get New Chapter initiative, which extends EMB appreciation to any active IEEE member who has helped to set up a new EMB chapter in 2021 or 2022. Second is the New Chapter Financial Assistance Initiative to sustain activities and also the vibrancy of new chapters who have shown their good performance in their first year. And congratulations to the Boston EMBS chapter, a recipient for their good performance in 2021. The meeting up of chapter chairs at EMBC 2022 brought together the EMBS grassroots, facing and solving challenges on our own at different geographical locations to learn from and also to bond with each other, so not to feel like home alone. And due to the tight conference schedule, we also set up a help desk to enable a more time-convenient and personalized outreach. Then on the 4th of October, to celebrate the IEEE Day with an EMB identity, we make the chapters felt united by joining hands to do something meaningful, and that is to create an awareness on biomedical engineering to a wider circle. Whether they are biomed or non-biomed, engineers or non-engineers, schools, parents, community societies, general publics, for our profession not to be diluted amidst the digital transformation hype through a torch relay marathon webinar. And these are the members from 42 EMBS chapters who have contributed. Thank you. Not forgetting also the One Chapter, One Story project, co-organized with the EMBS Social Media Committee. And these are the 25 chapters who have told their inspiring stories. In 2021, we established cooperation between the Chapter Development Committee and the Regional AdCom through an orientation webinar to better serve the EMB volunteers. And confronting with a popular question from the volunteers and having one member on the team, Dr. Supawadi, again, a wizard with IEEE funding, we delivered this webinar with useful information and also a link on networking and also funding opportunities. And this is a webinar organized by the Region 10 and also the IEEE MGA on chapter resources and support, where I was invited as the voice for EMBS, being the chair for chapter development. And as a personal, sincere outreach to the chapter chairs, I sent out my hello email reminding about deadline and also events. And thank you for all the support and feedback from all of you. Now, coming back to today's webinar, from the IEEE data analytics, we found that there were only about 25% of EMB members are currently senior. 46% are eligible senior, and 12% are potential senior, of a total of about 10,000 EMBS members. For this reason, we have invited and are honored to have with us today Dr. Supawadi, a seasoned speaker on elevation to senior membership, to deliberate on the benefits of and showing us the path leading to the senior member. And I'm confident that we will find more EMBS senior member after her informative presentation. So now over to you, Supawadi, please.
Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Lee Yut Kwon, for the introduction of the Chapter Development Committee. And I would like to salute you for your leadership, and then also to organize and conduct so many events. I think it is very important that we have to groom. I mean, when the chapter is start, we have to groom, and I think the society has a very important task, okay, to bring out the best of the chapters and encourage them to have more activities. Okay, and actually, I'm glad to be part of the Chapter Development Committee on the Asia Pacific representative. And as Dr. Lee has shown about the webinar on the MGA and technical activity, the chapter support webinar, actually I'm on that committee. And next year I would sharing the MGA chapter support committee. So I hope we could have more activity together, okay, with the EMBS. Okay, let me share my screen. So I think you can see the full screen, right? Yeah. So I think today's topic for the senior member, I think it should be very fruitful and bring out more information and the motivation that actually even like a student member could plan to become a senior member one day, and then also the member as well. I think that when we have the discussion, like talk to each of the IEEE member, I think one concern is that, oh, maybe I'm not qualified to be a senior member. Okay, but actually, I know that all of when you become the IEEE member, you already have a very good all the technical background and also the contribution, both in terms of the technical and then professional as well. So I believe that with the certain of time, most of our member, okay, would qualify to apply to be nominated to be a senior member, and that is the talk today. Yeah. So briefly about myself, I'm the associate professor at the Department of Electrical Engineering, Chulalongkorn University, Bangkok, Thailand. I'm vice chair of IEEE Thailand section, and as also a part of the EMBS CDC. And this briefly about myself. Actually, I start my IEEE membership as a graduate student member in the year of 1995 when I was the master student at the electrical engineering department at the University of Washington in Seattle. Okay, so at that time, of course, as a graduate student member, mainly involve more of course some activity, and then on like how we could access all of the conference and attend all of the international conference and also the journal publication. Yeah, and I continue to be a member until I mean I graduate in 2001. Then I become a member. Okay, and later on 5 years, actually 5 years after my PhD graduation, then I apply for the senior member. So I become the senior member in 2006, which is, I think, long year from here, right? I have become a senior member for a long time. And then hopefully when it is time, I should be able to be nominated and considered for the fellow in the futures. Okay. And then my research is on the video signal processing. And then I have some part that start to do something related into the medical image processing. Yeah, I have several of the volunteer role. And one thing, like once you become the senior member, I noticed myself that I getting more involved with several of the IEEE volunteer. I mean, when you become a member and when you become to starting volunteer and growing on several of the leadership position, I think that's the important part of the more contribution. Yeah. So I will tell you a little bit about that. Okay. So as the if we talk about the senior member, right? I think you heard that I mentioned about like the student member, I become the member, and then become the senior member. Okay. So maybe I can ask the participant in the webinar, do you know how many of the membership type in the IEEE? I think like we most common on like student member, right? Student member, senior member, fellow, right? I think that's like mainly the 4 type. And actually IEEE also has like the associate members and honorary member. Okay, but of course we are more common on those 4 type. Okay, so when you like for the student and member, like so that when you apply, okay, so that is you already be granted for it. But for the senior member, okay, that is like the additional step, and it is the highest grade, okay, for the IEEE member that can be applied. So it means that you can self-nominate yourself if you think that you already qualify with all of the certain requirement, or you could someone could nominate you as well for the senior member grade. Okay, but of course for the fellow it would be more difficult. Okay, as we could see. And I think like Dr. Lee may conduct maybe in the future webinar that talk about the IEEE fellows. So why we would like to become the senior member, right? So I think that is like similar when you are in the particular organization, or if you work or you are a student in the university. I think one thing is very important. If you have contribute enough, if you have working hard, okay. So one form is the very important is that you get recognition. Okay, so that is one of the important things that if you become the senior member, then it is the professional recognition, okay, in your technical and professional excellence that offered by the IEEE. Okay, and so other than for the recognition, Okay, so I start talking about like if you just be the regular member, right? Of course, those you can benefit on the IEEE, but in terms of the several of the volunteer leadership, because IEEE has so many of the volunteer position that you could contribute and learn. And I think that's very important because IEEE is the largest technical professional organization in the world, right? In our field. So it means that it is the multicultural and very diverse, right? I mean, if you are in your country, so maybe you will work with the peers in your country with the same culture. But with the IEEE, right, it's opened the door for you to meet other volunteer, right, of the like 160 country, right? So that's like the world. Open yourself to the world, and you have to work with them, right? In like maybe in the board or in the several committee. I think that is the experience that like you cannot easily find, right? So I I think I volunteer for IEEE for already 14 years. My membership is 27 years, but I volunteer in the several of the IEEE organizational units for already 14 years, right? So I would recommend, okay, all of the fellows, peer, okay, of the our IEEE friend, okay, to apply, okay, to several of the volunteer or leadership position. And for some of the position would require you to be a senior member, okay, especially some of the chair position, okay. So that make you eligible, okay, to be applied on that position, right? And if you become the senior member, so you can also in the good position, okay, to recommend other qualified members, okay, to become a senior member as well. So you can be a nominator, okay, of like your friends, okay, and then like your junior friends that you think that they're qualified, okay. And then also you could serve as the review panel for senior application as well. Later I talk about that because when you nominated, so there would be the review panel to apply for to review, okay, your application, okay. And then in the elevation, okay, you can get the letter of commendation, okay. So if you request, it would be also sent to your employer, okay. And then all those announcements, right, on the section on the society, it would appear, okay, in those local newsletter, okay. And then upon the receive the senior membership, there is a complimentary society membership as well that you may join one new IEEE society for 1 year, okay. And another thing is like you also get a plaque, okay, very beautiful plaque that engraving your name, okay, that you can of course display it. So this is my plaque, but you can see that it's quite old. So if you just receive the new one, it would be new, but mine is already old, okay, because it's like so many years. Okay, so that is my plaque. When the IEEE president is Michael Leitner, and the secretary is the Roberto De Marca, okay, who become the IEEE president later. Okay, so that was granted on 24th June of 2006, and it is still this style like as of now. So that is another my proud. So I hope that I would be considered for the fellow in the near futures. Yeah. So now let's talk about the requirement of how you could become the IEEE senior member. And of course, this is exists in the MGA webpage, okay, as you can see here. And the criteria was stated in the IEEE bylaw, okay, that of course the candidate would be or of these professional position, okay, in the IEEE designated field. So I believe you are the IEEE member, you already passed this requirement, okay. Second and third is the one that we would elaborate more today, because some are not clear on the information on the web page. Okay. First is that the candidate shall have been in the professional practice for at least 10 years, right? So it means for this, you should demonstrate that you have been in the professional practice. Okay, so for this, I will also talk about it. And then the candidate shall have shown the significant performance for a period of at least 5 of those years. Okay, so that are the two important things, right? The professional practice for 10 years, at least 10 years, and significant performance for the period of at least 5 years. And then the candidate of the senior member, as I mentioned, you can self-nominate yourself, or someone could nominate you. So if you nominate yourself, then you need to be endorsed by three fellows or senior members or the honorary members. Okay. But if someone nominated you, so it means that nominators already endorsed you. So you would require only 2 additional endorser. Okay, so that is important, that someone need to endorse you. Okay, even like you nominate yourself. Okay. And then another important thing is that you should include your CV or resume that highlight the professional practice and then also the significant performance. Okay, it is very, very useful that you have your CV that highlight the relevant information. So it is very easy for the review panel to evaluate you. Okay, because as I also evaluate several of the senior member application, and some they did not provide the CV, and then I mean, you provide the CV, but then you still have to mention in the information box about your professional practice and the significant performance as well. And sometimes it is like they don't provide enough information. Okay, so for that you may not pass the review. Okay, so having the relevant information in the CV or resume is very important. Okay. Next. Okay, so now let's elaborate more on what would be the 10 years of your professional experience. Okay, so that would count your time, right, that you work or you attending the school. Okay, so actually it's count the work experience or your educational experience. Okay, so like for example, if you graduate bachelor degree, okay, then that's count as a 3 year, okay, in your professional experience. If you hold a bachelor and master degree, so that count as a 4 years. And if you hold a doctoral degree, so that is count for 5 years, right? So it means that either 3, 4, or 5 years, then you need additional year, right? So if in the first case you need additional 7 years like of the professional or the working experience, like the second is like a 4 year, you need additional 6, right? And like for my case, if I graduate PhD, then I need another, like when I start working, right? So I become the member on 2001, like, so I apply on 2006, so that would be 5 and 5, so that would be 10 years. Okay. So as a summary, okay, education and work experience combined must equal 10 years or more. Okay, but somehow, I mean, the degree is not the requirement. So it's been if you not you graduate lower than the bachelor degree, right? So you can still use your work experience, okay, to count for it. So I mean, there are many ways that count. Like some people, they study and work full time. At the same time. Okay, so it means sometimes you can use that as well, right? So I mean, there are many ways, but mainly the education and work combined must equal 10 years or more. The second one is about the significant performance. Okay. So when we say about 5 years of the significant performance, it does not mean that it has to be the most recent 5 years, or it has to be consecutive year, right? I mean, this is one of the things that you can note about. Okay. So what could be the significant performance, right? So I think this is also depend on the nature of your work, right? If your work as the academic professor, right? So your significant performance would be related to like a teaching, and then in terms of the research publication on the research project, right? Or even if you also work on some patent, and then also maybe you have your administrative position in the university or some other organization, that could count as the significant performance, right? So here just highlight, okay, what could be taking into account, okay, as the significant performance, okay, like the publication, some management position that also has shown the evidence, okay, of accomplishment, and some development of important courses, okay, that count as well, okay. Or you can do some technical editing, you can do the patent, okay. Or if you are in the industry, right? So it's when your significant performance would be maybe a little bit different than when you are academic professor, okay? So that is about the significant performance. So I think it is, as you work on many things, and I think it's difficult for you to highlight your significant performance. And one thing that is very important is that when you apply and then you have to write it out, right? It remind yourself also of the significant contribution that you have done in your career. So I think it is important, because sometimes we do so many things and may think that, oh, nothing is significant. But if you write it out, then you can see, oh, I did this, I did this, I did this, right? So it's kind of remind yourself of how much hard work you have done. And then it is the way that you motivate yourself also to going forward, okay? And then it's also a way to for you to inspire others as well, when you realize that, oh, you have contributed so much so far, okay? So I think it's not just like you write about this and then you just get the senior member. I think it valuable in other sense as well, okay? So the application process, okay, so if you go to the website, okay, of the, if you search IEEE Senior Membership in the Google, it will pop out, right? So as I mentioned about two very important requirements, right? So of course you have to prepare. You review your requirement and qualification, okay? And then you can prepare the first draft of the application, okay? So application actually won't take long time, especially if someone already continuously update their CV or resume. Okay, to pick out the significant performance is not difficult at all. Okay, but other thing is that of course you need the endorser, right? So where you would find the endorser? Of course, if you are in the section, that is a good way that you can find the fellow IEEE Senior Member, or even the fellow that could recommend you. Okay, so if not in the section like the EMBS, right? If you are in the EMBS, I know that you find many of the EMBS peer, you can even contact the chapter development committee or the reps in each who can recommend you. Okay, so I think IEEE has a very large network, so it's not difficult at all to find the endorser, and I am sure that many of them would be very happy, okay, to endorse you. So when you have submit, I think now everything is very easy. You can submit everything on the online portal, and then you can also track the status. Okay. So when you enter, right, the email and IEEE member number of the endorser, it will send email to the endorser. Okay, and then you of course you can remind them to evaluate you as soon as possible. Okay, or of course the system will send email to remind them, and you can track the status of the application and references, and you can await for the notification of the result. Yeah, so the benefit, right, to the IEEE section and societies. Okay, so as we know that in terms of the section, like section will get the membership rebate. So for the rebate, if it is the senior member, so section would get a little bit of higher rebate. Okay, so that come back to the section they can facilitate more activities. Okay, and this I think some I already mentioned. Okay, and if for the membership, right, the retention, okay, is the one that if you continuously, right, to renew your membership, right? So as a higher of the membership level, the statistics have shown that those will continue to renew the membership. So it means that as a senior member, average retention rate is as high as 94%. Okay. And also the greater percentage of senior member that belong to the IEEE society, okay, than do other IEEE member grade. Because I think when related to the society, you involve more if all of the technical activity, like all of the conferences, you can become the technical program committee, right? You can become the editor or associate editor of the IEEE transaction. Okay, so I think that also important. Okay, and also senior member volunteer has a higher percentage rate, okay, to contribute, I mean, to the volunteer position than others. And this is like some statistic I got from the MGA website that you can see that as the level, right, from the student to graduate student member, associate member, from the senior member and up. Okay, so they tend to renew, okay, the membership, okay, almost everyone. So the senior members, okay, is under the responsibility, okay, of the MGA admission and advancement committee. So they would oversee the process of the senior member review, and they will conduct the review panel meeting 6 times per year. So this is one important thing as well, that you can check the MGA website. So it would be around this month, okay, in a year. It won't change, but the date may be different. Okay. So one important thing, if you would like to, when you submit and you get endorsed, right, you don't have to wait long, okay, for your application to be reviewed. So you should watch out for this review deadline. Okay, like for example, now, like this year, the last review panel already finished on the 19th of November. Okay, so next year you have to watch out in February, right? So you can check the schedule on this website on the deadlines. Okay, so of course it will be in the February. Okay, so you need to make sure that you submit application at least 7 days before this review panel. Okay, so to make sure that you don't have to wait long, right? For example, if now you intend, you can start to prepare your application now, right? Because you have December and you have January, right? So you can submit in like January. Okay, so your application would be reviewed in this, February. And usually, once they review, they make the decision. So it takes around another 2 weeks for like if you pass the evaluation and be promoted to the senior member, 2 weeks after this date, it would be announced, okay, in the web page, and then you would get the email, okay, to notify you, okay. So that like some other important things that I would like to mention. Yeah. So of course, if you have any question, you can always reach me. But of course, we stay on for a couple of questions that you may have. Yeah. Thank you. I hope what I summarized here would be useful. Yeah. And make senior member elevation like sound easy. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Dr. Supawadi. So I'm not sure if there is any like question from the audience within the Zoom. You can actually open the mic and ask Alina.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much for the information. I have no idea about this, but now I do. But I still have some questions. The first one is about the 10 years experience. So my question is that in those 10 years of experience, the applicant must be also an IEEE member, or it could be possible that, for example, the applicant has 10 years of experience, professional experience, but he or she has only like 2 years of being an IEEE member.
That is very interesting question.
Yeah, that's very interesting question.
Yes.
Yeah, because like for my case, I don't remember for a long year, right? So I would not have the question. Let me go back. We have to check on the bylaws. Yeah.
Okay.
Right. Very interesting question. I think we don't have this kind of question before.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think it does not say, but yeah.
Yeah.
Right. It does not say that you have to be the IEEE member for many years. Dr. Lee, you have insight for that? But of course, I can ask the
yeah, I think better
admission and advancement share.
Yeah, I think it's better to confirm with them.
Mm-hmm.
Before
but thank you. I think like it is very good question. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, thank you. Then I will wait. I think, I mean, I'm not sure, but I should think that we should be an IEEE member for like 10 years, but
yeah, because now you do the elevation, right? 2 years.
Yeah, but I don't know. Well, yes, I will wait. And I have one more question about the deadlines. Mm-hmm. So you mentioned there's some examples and some regions on that table. So we should check the deadlines of our region. So in my case, I'm of region 9.
No. I mean, actually, this review panel would take place on different region, right? Like the physical location when they do the review, but it does not like if you are region 9, you have to submit for that. So it means you have 6 times per year. I mean, you can submit to any of the 6-month deadline here. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
Dr. Subawadi, just wanted to know if you have been elevated to become a senior member, do you have to pay higher fees?
No.
Membership fees?
No. It's still the same. Yeah. But actually, I pay higher membership because now I become the member of so many societies.
So that means that you can become a senior member without any increased...
Yeah, no increase of the membership fee.
And you get more advantages, isn't it?
Right. Yeah. But of course, now we may get involved more with more society. So it means membership may become more expensive because I'm a member of many technical societies. Yeah.
So is there any question from the audience? While waiting, can you elaborate more about like professional practice? Like for example, for me, like as far as we all know, EMBS here, we are the society comprised of different professionals, not only engineering, but also like medical doctors. We have a lot of pharmacists, and we also have a lot of like medical scientists, something like that. And I would say like some of us is not like actually fall within like IEEE designated field, because like for me, for example, I'm a pharmacist and I'm not like exactly engineer. So if the professional practice is not really like related to engineering, like if it's more related to medical field, like in clinical field, does it count as a professional practice year? Like, I don't know.
Because I think like for the IEEE designated field, like the physical science, biological and medical science also, I mean, one of the IEEE designated field, right? So I mean, if your work be like very close to EMBS, of course, your profession would be qualified. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So like I've seen one of your slides that describe the significant performance or something like that. Like if I am, say I am a lecturer in a university and I am conducting or like instructing a course, but it's not related to engineering, like it's more related to medicine, would it be counted as the significant performance?
I think it would count.
It would count, right? Okay.
Yeah. And
yeah.
if like, I mean, in some cases, someone, if you can prove that you are like, for example, full-time faculty staff, while you study PhD, right? So that experience could count as well. Sometimes you don't need your highest degree. If like before you already like a part of the faculty's member.
Okay, right.
Yeah, I mean there are many cases that you can count your professional experience. It does not need the highest degree.
Right.
Sometimes you can count like bachelor degree, and then like if you already have the faculty like full-time faculty member, like a proof that you already the staff of your university, right? So that can also count.
So let's say I was graduate from PhD this year, for example. I can actually use my bachelor degree, which is in like 2009. Right? Not 2000.
Yeah, you can like your bachelor degree, I think it's a long time.
10 years ago. My bachelor degree like 10 years ago. And then I worked for 3 years. I can count that 3 years as my professional practice. And after that 3 years, I continue my higher degree. I can also count that higher degree as my professional practice too, right?
Yeah, I mean, after you get a degree, but you can, for example, if you count your bachelor degree, then later you can add your work experience.
Yeah.
If you already become the faculty staff.
Yes. Okay. Then I don't have to wait for another
5 years. You don't have to wait for another 5 years after your PhD.
Okay. Because that's clear. Thank you very much. So I'll apply tomorrow.
Yeah. You should. I mean, start apply. And I think like many of our members, if they get clearer information, I think like most are qualified.
Right.
Kanita, there's a question in the QA box by Meha. Yeah. By Meha, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, Meha, you wanna open the mic?
Hi, thank you so very much. Hello, everyone, and nice to see you all. So excited to meet everybody after so long. Now, actually, I'm kind of reluctant to ask this question, but I'm kind of want to know that how can a senior EMBS member can play a significant role in building a society in a specific region. For example, in my region, EMBS is doing a lot of work, but in particular in Pakistan, in India, in Bangladesh, I believe there is a more space to where we can pitch the EMBS. Like volunteers don't know about EMBS. So there's a whole capacity for them to know that we exist, and there's a lot of opportunities. So how can a senior member help that way? Thank you.
Yeah, I think maybe Dr. Lee can answer the question. I think one thing is that if we can build like a senior member group, I don't know, like in the EMBS or in different society, of course, right? Yeah, and of course we could contribute on something like, I don't know, helping encourage like the member and student, I mean, in the EMBS and so on. But maybe Dr. Lee, like we could take this as maybe some of the agenda for like a next year of the CDC, if we would like to encourage more of the senior member and build more prominent network of senior member and somehow in each region, like, and I mean, I think they can contribute on something, but yeah, but I think that is very good questions, right? I mean, it's not just like, okay, you become senior member and you get the recognition, right? We have to think as well that by becoming the senior member with those recognition, how can you do more? Yeah, so I think that is, we have to take a look on another side as well. So yeah, I think this is like a good question and would bring us the homework to think for next year.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah, thank you.
Yes, I actually agree. If we have that kind of specific network, we could, I don't know, gather like more higher quality of volunteers or something like that, especially for technical activities for the societies. Yes, and I think we don't have any more questions from the audience.
Yeah, Supervadi, maybe it would be very useful to the audience if you, I mean, from your experience, maybe you can share with us what are the reasons, that senior membership applications are rejected.
I mentioned, they don't provide enough. I mean, enough like evidence for the, I think especially like the significant performance, they didn't write it out clearly. And I think that also reflect, I mean, the CV as well. And also one thing, for the endorser, it should be, I mean, it should be of course someone that they know you, right? Because they also have to write about you, and of course they will see your CV and so on. Yeah, so at least, I mean, if somehow you ask someone that is like not your peer, then you should spend some time with the endorser, right? So they can understand your work and also put very good recommendation. Yeah, but I think in terms of, I think for usually the professional experience, not have I think a problem as much as for the significant performance. Sometimes it didn't write out very clear. Also, I mean, someone didn't put anything at all, so cannot review. Yeah.
Also, I just want to find out from you. I'm not sure, but is it like, for example, if you are an EMBS member, right, and if you're applying for a senior member, the application will be reviewed by somebody or the senior member or fellow of EMBS, let's say, isn't it? Or it can be.
No, I think it will go to this review panel, but I think for the, because it's different from the fellow, right?
What I mean is that the reviewer panel, let's say for EMBS, it will come from the EMBS member, right? And then maybe for, I don't know, circuit, there will be circuit society, or is it? Do they?
I'm not sure. Like when they do the review, is separate by the society. Yeah, because it would go through this committee. And of course, that committee may comprise of the evaluator from different society. Yeah.
So far, the evaluation I received are all from EMBS member.
I see.
Yeah. So I was wondering, is it because, they have made it such that the EMBS, reviewer
only EMBS,
for
right?
the EMBS applicants, something like that. Because then we will understand the experience more and things like that. So I'm just worried that maybe somebody that is not EMBS, he doesn't know anything about the radiologist, what they do.
I see. Yeah. I think that
like what Kanika concern is. Yeah.
I think that would be the internal assignment for this review panel committee.
Yeah, perhaps you can make these suggestions, to the committee. Yeah.
Right. I think it is important. It's important.
Yeah, because
otherwise, if like I'm in, for example, signal processing, and maybe someone in like power energy, right? Review.
Yeah. I will not be able. Yeah, I will not be able to evaluate a member from the power.
Yeah. I do agree. So that we could make a suggestion to the admission advancement.
Yeah, since you are in that rank, I hope you could sort of put these suggestions, during the meetings, one of the meetings of things.
I see.
So that people don't feel so discouraged, because it's not easy to fill in the forms.
Yes.
Yeah.
I understand. Yeah. So we should encourage. Actually, it's not, of course.
Yeah, I mean that they are rejected because of the right proper reasons, and not because we do not understand. Their specialization or the field itself. Yeah.
I see.
I hope you can pass this message to the higher, management. Yeah.
I will. Yeah. Thank you. Okay.
So
we are about time. Time fly very fast.
Yes, thank you very much, Dr. Supavati, for your interesting talk today. And hopefully all of us here will know a lot about how to prepare ourselves and also our documents and our CVs to apply for a senior member, which is actually easier than we thought, as you mentioned earlier. Before we leave today, I would like you to say something to encourage, I don't know, like young professional members or like professional members who want to apply to senior member, like few sentences. Dr. Supavati.
I like to say, okay, I don't know, Dr. Lee would like to say something.
Yeah, now you go ahead first. I'll say later.
Yeah, I like to say, like, I would always say, believe in yourself, because actually we have contributed much more than we think, and we deserve to be recognized. Yeah.
Right. Thank you very much. What about you, Dr. Lee Yut-Kwon?
No, I just wanted to let everybody here and also those who are watching our video later to know that if you need like a referee or endorsers, please contact ourselves, me, Kanita, or Dr. Supavati, or even Jet, our EMBS Senior Administrator, isn't it?
Yes.
And he could recommend a list of people that are willing to become the endorser as well as the referee for you.
Yes, thank you very much. So if you have any questions, just drop all of your questions about like everything on our social media online, like on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. You can drop a message like everywhere and we'll find it. And if it's related to senior member, I will pass it out to probably our chapter development committee or someone who related to the question, something like that. And thank you all for being here today. And for those of you who are in like United States, in Europe, you have a good day. And for all of us in Asia, in Asia and Pacific, have a good night. Thank you very much, everyone. Bye.
Thank you very much. Take care.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, bye-bye.
Thank you.